Alright guys, so here's the review of the Baltany Bubble Back Homage. So you might think you've seen me do this one before, but that was actually the different version, that was the Keairus one. But I think there are quite a few similarities between the two of them. So much so that I'm going to do a comparison in this video between the Baltany and the Keaiorus. But as I say, we'll get into that as we get into the review. But full disclosure, I was sent the watch for free, don't have to send it back, but you know the score by now. So I'm going to change the way I do my reviews, going to keep it 100% honest all the time, no matter what. So, question is, what are the differences, if any, and which one do you want to pick up? Let's get down to it and find out. So here's the packaging you get in. Nice handy case you can actually use to take your watches around with you. So quickly go over what we get in here. So we've got the warranty card, which is actually signed and dated, which is good. You've got a 2-year warranty on that. Then we've got the instruction manual, we're not bothered about that. Branded cleaning cloth, and then just the watch. So just get this out of the way, and then we'll get right down to it. So, here it is. And it is a really good looking piece. So, with this one I went with the California dial. So you can actually get it with the standard dial layout, not the California one. They also have a couple of different dial colours. So this one is the blue one, they also do it in a black. And as always, I'll leave links down in the description to all of them if you want to check them out. And if you do use them, they are affiliate links, so it does help support the channel, but you don't pay any more, the usual. So before we zoom in on the dial, just talk about the case a bit more. So we've got a nice high polish on that case. Just going to zoom in and show you that a bit better. And then you can see, nicely finished. Can be a little bit of a fingerprint magnet, as you'd expect with a high polish case. And then we've got that really nice domed crystal as well, the top hat style. And then we've got a completely sterile case back. That's got a lot of fingerprints on. Again, high polish. And it's all completely unbranded. Same with the crown. But let's talk about that dial. Nothing applied. And then we've got the Baltany branding at the top there. Then that sub-dial down at the 6, which is slightly recessed. I'll probably chuck in some macro shots so you can see it in a bit more detail. And as I say, this is the California dial version. So you've got the Roman numerals at the top, and the normal numbers at the bottom. I know some people aren't keen on that, but they do offer different dial versions without that. And then we've just got that train tracker on the outside. So we zoom back out. And then quickly talk about the strap. So this is the included strap that comes with this. So it's a nice leather one with the stitching, and then brushed hardware, unlike the case. And it is genuine leather. It's pretty nice. Definitely better than the one that came with the Keaiorus. That came with the leather NATO, which I think added way too much bulk, because it's a pretty chunky case already. You don't want to be adding any more bulk with a NATO strap, I don't think. Or at least I don't personally. So seeing as we're talking about it, let's bring that Keaiorus in so you can see them side by side. So obviously this is the different dial version, different handset as well. But again, you can get both of these versions with both brands, either Baltany or Keaiorus. And again, I'll leave links in the description to all of them. I'll link to the full review of the Keaiorus. The only difference between the two, in terms of dials and hands, is that the Keaiorus only comes in black. They don't do a blue dial version, they only do the black. So if you want the blue, you've got to go with the Baltany. And again, both unsigned crowns, sterile case backs. And as I said, with this Keaiorus, this isn't the original strap it came on. It came on a leather NATO, but I bought this one separately because I think it just goes better, as I said, reduces that bulk. It's a similar kind of style, to the one that actually comes on the Baltany. So if you do prefer that, you can always buy it separately. So let's lay these down, talk about some of the dimensions and everything, see what's similar, what's different. So when it comes to the movements in these two, because these are slightly different versions, there are actually different movements in them. So with the Baltany, that's actually a Seagull ST1701, whereas the Keaiorus is a Seiko NH38. But if you get the different dial versions in the two respective versions, they both have the same movements. So obviously you get the Keaiorus in this style version, that'll have the 1701. Get the Baltany in this style version, that has the NH38. Now, when it comes to the dimensions, they're both 36mm. Also, when I went through them all, I was expecting to see a couple of subtle little differences, but it turns out they're all exactly the same. I'll probably leave some dimensions and stuff on screen so you can see the comparison between the two. But as I say, they are the same, as you can see. So again, as I said, both 36mm, both 13.5mm thick, both got 18mm lug width, and both also got 44mm lug to lug. So really nice dimensions on both, but I was surprised that they are pretty much identical as far as I can tell cases. So the only real differences come in when it comes to what straps you get these two watches on, and also the dial colours. As I say, Baltany do a blue version, Keaiorus don't. Baltany also have brown. I'll leave pictures on screen so you can see them anyway. So if you do want a different colour other than black, you've got to go for the Baltany. In terms of price, there's a slight difference between the two, at least at the moment on AliExpress, but as you know, those prices can fluctuate quite a bit. But at the time of filming this, the Baltany is £150, whereas the Keaiorus is coming in about £125. So a not insignificant difference for what are essentially the same watches. So now, let's see if there's a difference when it comes to the lume on the two. And there we go. So you can see, both pretty impressive when it comes to lume, despite having that faux patina on the dial and on the hands. It is pretty impressive. If you saw my previous review of the Keaiorus, you'll already know that one was good, but the Baltany is just as good, as you've probably seen with previous Baltanys I've reviewed, and you've probably seen on other channels as well. They never disappoint. So again, no matter which one you go for, you're going to be getting good lume. Again, as I said in my previous review, with this new camera it comes up slightly brighter on camera than it is in real life, but they're still both a good decent brightness, and they stay for a good amount of time as well. So you shouldn't have to worry about that. Really good lume on both. Oh, I forgot to mention, the water resistance on this is 200 metres as well, which is good. So we've actually got a screw down crown. So I'll quickly unscrew that and then I'll show you the movement in action as well. So, as I said, Seagull ST1701. So just pop it out. Just got the one position, so no go state position. You could probably see that second hand is still going, so we don't have hacking. And then we can just change the time. Pop it back in. Got hand winding. All works well. And then just screw it back in. No issues at all. All works really nicely. So all it's left to do now, show you what it's like on wrist, and then we'll wrap this up. So this is what it looks like on my 7-inch wrist. And as I say, with that 2-piece leather strap, it does wear really nicely. Doesn't add any extra bulk unlike the Keaiorus did, which came with that leather NATO. And I do really like this California dial as well. I know some people aren't keen on them. Let me know down in the comments. Do you like a California dial or not? Or would you be more likely to go for the non-California dial? I really like it though. Also really like that domed sapphire crystal as well. It's always nice to have that. Not got to worry about it getting scratched up or anything. Unlike the case, which is, yeah, polished, so it is going to get scratched up a bit. But, again, it's just a really good looking piece. If you're into the vintage kind of look, and you're after a bubble back homage, I highly recommend this one. But quickly getting back to the comparison between this and the Keaiorus, which branding do you guys prefer? Do you prefer the Baltany, or do you prefer the Keaiorus? Again, let me know down in the comments. I think I know which way this one's going to go, but it'll be interesting to see what people say. But that's it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.